Hey, hey, hey. What's going on, everybody? Good evening, good evening, good evening. What's going on, Julie? How are you? Good to see you, Pia and Tammy and Ruth. The brave ones with their cameras on. How's everybody doing? I just had a Penelope in my lap. So if you got kids, if you're laying on the couch, if you're just hanging, it's all good. If you're getting out of the shower, getting out of the bath, we appreciate your candor. Thank you for that. Good evening. Happy Monday. Hopefully everyone had an amazing weekend. I had a fun weekend. I don't know if you guys follow me at all on Instagram. If I'm not, it's not a plug for my Instagram, but Jennifer decided recently to share our whole life via our Instagram stories. And so this last weekend, we did some Halloween shopping and we got some costumes. We got some fun stuff. Took the boys out, got some haircuts. It was fun. Did all the necessary stuff. But hopefully you guys had a blessed weekend. Excited to see you. Take a minute. Send this out to somebody. Got some fun stuff to talk about. And I very well might give something away to someone lucky on this call tonight. Feeling kind of generous. Feeling kind of excited. And as you guys know, we're going to be covering part 3, the final part of Courage is Calling, by Ryan Holiday. This is part 3, the heroic. Very excited to go through some pieces. It's not going to be a long call tonight. I've got a few pieces I want to take out of this. A pretty stoic part 3. And so but I've got some stuff I want to chat about. So appreciate you guys being on. As always, let me know where you're watching from. Hey, Misty, what's going on? Aloha from California, Nebraska, and Louisiana. Good to see you. Seattle area. What's going on? Texas and Washington. As always, I'm out here on the East Coast in Pennsylvania. Los Angeles is in the house. All right, send it out. We're about 2 minutes away from getting started. How'd you guys like the Super Saturday? You guys have some fun? Hopefully you guys had some guests on. Hopefully you guys had some people to take advantage of it with you. And it wasn't just you on there. Tammy, what's going on? Marysville is in the house. Good to see you. Super Saturday was amazing. We did have some fun. Courtney crushed it. Courtney Hadley was amazing. Awesome. Melissa Bordeaux closed it out like a beast. She was so amazing in that story. Gosh, I can't even handle it. The fact that she was doing that call. Is she on here right now? Oh, there's Melissa P. She is on here. Good. The fact that she was doing that call on that anniversary, it was pretty special. That was something special. And then Melissa Lucas opening it up. Bam, those testimonials. Oh, if you missed it, number one, I'm sorry because you missed out on some amazing free points for Punta Cana. And I pray that you don't miss another one because that would just be such a bummer. Because they're free. They're free points. They're the easiest way to get points. But go back and check out the replay because, man, there was some value in there. And then the part 2 with Rob Sperry, oh my gosh. The getting started training that Rob Sperry did afterwards where we tied in the masterclass. That was something special. But we're going to get started here in just a second. As everyone knows, like I already said, we're going to be covering part 3 this evening of Courage is Calling by Ryan Holiday. This part 3 is called The Heroic. So part 2, as you know, is a part all on courage. Part 3 is The Heroic. And as always, I'm going to ask you, put a 2 in the comments if you are reading this book with me. Put a 3 in the comments if you're just checking in and hanging out and grabbing some notes. I would love to see the mix. I'd love to see the mix. And for those 2s, I'm proud of you. That's awesome. For those 3s, I'm proud of you as well, but I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you for next month to jump on board with us. I want to encourage you next month to be a part of this with us, to start reading these books, because the way that we set it out, if you think about it, the average person doesn't really read at all anymore or listen to any books at all. And the goal of all of this the goal of all of this is to read one book a month, which would then at the end of the year have you consuming 12 new books a year. And I don't know about you, but my father always told me growing up that leaders are readers. And that was something that I got told over and over. My grandfather to this day reads a book a day on average. And yes, he's retired and God bless him, he's obsessed with books. But that's what we were surrounded by my whole life, was my grandfather that always had a book in his hand. Always, 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 always. So as we get into this amazing final chapter of Courage is Calling, it's a pretty stoic chapter. And so there's a lot of big examples. There's a lot of very, stoic kind of, Marcus Aurelius examples and, all these kind of, the 300 and all these big kind of crazy. So I was reading it and listening again, kind of marking up some notes. And there was a couple parts that I wanted to take away. The book that we're reading this month, I'll make sure everyone knows I'm still deciding next month's book. And so I'm going to let everyone know on What's Up Weekly this week what our book is going to be for next month, as we are not going to have a call next week because next Monday is Halloween. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to be hitting the streets. And if you guys didn't see the story, I'm going out as Mickey Mouse. And so, I'm going to have MICKEYMOUSE up in the house here. And I've got the cutest little Minnie on the planet that's coming alongside of me. And we got some fun costumes for the kiddos. So obviously we're going to be going out and doing that next week. So we're not going to have a Mindset Monday next week. But so we'll get you the next book and all that stuff. But back to part 3. There was one part of this that I really, really liked, and it really tied into the masterclass. And it was a whole section on make people bigger. Make people bigger in your life. I think that the older I get, the more I find it fascinating that you guys ever have those conversations where you don't really talk at all? You just ask a couple questions and the other person talks the whole time and they get done and they're like, this is the best conversation I've ever had. And you're like, we didn't have a conversation, sister. You just talked to me for an hour. To be interesting in today's world, you have to be interested. If you're taking notes, in order to be interesting, you have to be interested. And one way that you can immediately make people bigger in your life is by plugging in and genuinely caring about things that, again, they probably want to be talking about, but so many people just glaze over. So many people don't ask the real questions. I think about making people bigger all the time. I think that that's such speaking life into others, making them feel as though that they could do anything. And I don't care who that person is. I think that again, we sometimes get stuck in this place again it's all about mindset. And so if we get stuck in a place of anxiety in our life, if we get stuck in a place of being worked up with us all the time, we can find ourselves and fall into a place of forced value. And remember when we talked about this a couple months ago, forced value is when you only turn on the value when you see someone in front of you that you believe can bring benefit to your life. True value is when you are genuine value, is when you are wanting to just pour into everyone because you believe that your presence on this planet is here to lift up with every interaction, with every altercation, with every opportunity. And so how do we make people bigger? Again, I think it's just by being interested. I think that we really need to focus on being more interested. How can you be a hero in your life? Be interested in the grocery store lady that's checking you out. Be interested in the man at the gas station that hasn't had anyone do other than, give me this and I'm going to pay for this and walk out the door. Give them 2 seconds. Again, just be interested. I get being in a hurry. I get, I mean, I don't know, being in a hurry is really a matter of priorities, in my opinion. I don't, I understand that, if you've got a 30-minute lunch break, you can't sit and spend 5-10 minutes of it with the guy at the gas station. I get it. But we all have opportunities in our day. We all have moments in our day that I think we are so focused on our routine, on our day, on our schedule, on where we've got to be, on the things we've got to do, that we stop, or we don't stop and look at what's right in front of us. And a lot of the time, what's right in front of us is someone that is dying for someone to be interested in them. So, make people bigger. That was one thing that I took out. No time for hesitation. This goes back to making people bigger. You may never see that person again. I mean, just think about this. Me and my brother joke all the time. This only the younger generation might get this, but there's a phrase called NPCs. It's like a non-participating or a non-player character. So in a game, it's like if you're playing a video game, it's all of the people like in the background of that video game that aren't actually doing anything. They're just like a robot that's just like they programmed in these people. Me and my brother talk about this all the time. It's like, do you ever stop and think about all the people that you interact with and see on a regular basis and like think about their lives for a second? It gets very overwhelming very quick, but when we take into consideration the amount of and I don't want to bring it down, but the amount of depression, the amount of people on a daily basis that are contemplating suicide, the amount of people on a regular basis that are getting let go from a job or are having something crazy happen in their life that seems insurmountable. I want to remind you that we hold so much power. Like Linda, you hold so much power. Mary Ellen, you hold so much power. Sandy, Carmela, you hold so much power. Like so much. And I believe that if people held a sign on their chest that actually showed them what was going on in their life and like showed a look, you would be so much more willing to jump into the trenches with them. But the one thing that's hard about today's world is people don't put that up. Instead, they put up the exact opposite. People will put up the exact opposite in today's world, where they will project perfection in a state of utter chaos. And so I want to remind you that while there might not be a sign on their chest, to approach everyone with that kindness, with that love, with that intent for interest. And like I talked about a week ago or 2 ago, not everyone is going to reciprocate. You have to be able to bless and release. You have to be able to understand that their response to your love has nothing to do with you. It gets to the next point. Are you willing to pay? What are you willing to pay? There's a whole part on this. What are you willing to pay? Do you guys know that there's only one catch to network marketing? My father talks about this a lot, and I'm sure you guys know it. But there's only one catch to being a professional network marketer. Just one. You guys want to know what it is? Put it in the comments if you know. I'm sure you guys have heard it 100 times. But if you haven't, it's the most basic and it's easy as it gets. You must be willing to accept a temporary loss. Keyword temporary. You must be willing to accept a temporary loss of social esteem from ignorant people. You must be willing to accept a temporary loss of social esteem from ignorant people. There are going to be a lot of people in your world, as I'm sure you have seen, that don't understand what it is that you do, will try to talk down upon what you do. And a lot of you for a long time have allowed it to affect you. That's the one catch. When you can accept that, you're on your way. In regards to what are you willing to pay, the other thing that I wrote down here in my notes. Yeah, other people's opinions are none of your business. That's a great quote, Gabrielle. And I understand what you're saying, Brian. But that takes muscle. You know, I think what Brian says is true, and it's great to have our leader at the top that doesn't have, you know, that just says, I don't care. I've repped, so I'm so proud. But if Brian is honest, and I know he would be on this call, and I would ask him to be, it wasn't always that way. In the very beginning, it wasn't always that way. It took some time. Same thing for Gabrielle, I guarantee it. The one thing about muscle is if you don't work them out, if you don't flex them, they will never grow. And so I can sit here and know that, and like, man, I really want my arms to grow. Man, I really want my arms to get bigger. I really want to have a bigger chest. I really want to be, but if I don't do it, I can know what I have to do. But if I don't flex, if I don't actually work the muscles out, nothing is going to happen. And so see from your leadership in the comments here what it looks like on the other side when you flex those muscles and you actually flex them consistently over a long period of time. But for those of you that might not be there yet, I want you to understand that, like Brian just said, until you build the mental muscle, and it really comes with accepting a temporary loss of social esteem. You have to understand that people that don't understand what we do will look down on you, and you have to not let that affect you. If that is going to affect you, I want to let you know that it's going to be an uphill battle. And I say that with all the love in my heart, but that's something that you're going to have to work on. If you can work to get past that, there's nothing but blessing on the back end of that. And like I said, it is temporary. It is temporary because if you stick with it and if you stay consistent, what comes on the back end is that check starts to grow incrementally. It starts to get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And you start showing up a little bit different way. And you know what it really takes? It only takes one person. Most of you are one person away from being so rock solid, steadfast, like just untouchable. One person that comes in that says, Ruth, because of you, sister, my whole life has changed. I made $500 this month, Ruth. I don't know what I'd do without you. If it wasn't for you, I literally don't know how I'd pay my bills this month. Ruth would be going around beating her chest like just, what is that? King Kong, just boom, 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 boom. King Kong ain't got nothing on her. It's game over. 99% of you on this call are one person away, one story like that away from taking over the world. What I want to encourage you is to not lose sight in the pursuit of. To not get distracted in the pursuit of. What are you willing to pay? Are you willing to give up your spare time? What does that really look like for you? What does that really look like in this season, in this holiday season? Put a 5 in the comments if you watched the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary. I'm not going to mock you. I'm just saying, I know that a lot of people have probably watched it. I know a lot of people are scared. Jennifer, I haven't watched it yet. It scares the bejesus out of us. But again, there's new stuff coming up all the time. There's new shows. There's the Game of Thrones stuff that's going on. There's pick something. There's new stuff all the time. All that to say is, I want to ask you going forward in this season, in the pursuit of your dreams. These are your dreams. These are your goals. This is your passion. This is your future. This is your family's future. I want you to think about going forward, what you're willing to give up. And if shows and free time, I'm not saying don't watch for shows and take time for yourself. I'm just saying, if at the end of the day, you haven't done everything you could do towards the pursuit of your business, don't let a Netflix show be your escape to not remind yourself of why you were here, of why you got involved. Don't let the distraction, don't let the going out, don't let the stuff like that be the excuse, because it's such a weak excuse. If there's real excuses out there, I got it. If stuff's going on in your life, stuff happens all the time. I got it. I get it. Don't allow a weak excuse to push you off of your dream. We've all got the same 24 hours. I love that he says this. Courage is not something you declare, like bankruptcy. Courage is something you have to earn. I love this. Courage is not something that you get to declare. You got to earn it. And most of the time, earning it is about a 20-second period of time. For most of you, being courageous is just picking up the phone and calling someone you've been scared to call. And it's about 20 seconds of that fear of picking it up and sitting and staring at the phone. You guys, I built a business. Do you know how many times at 18, 19, 20 years old, I was scared out of my mind to pick up the phone and call someone? Everyone was older than me. Everyone was more accredited to me, had done more in their life than I had. Everyone was more successful than me. Everybody. I get it. But that's where they say courage isn't something we just get to say, man, I am courageous. No, you got to earn it. And you got to ask yourself what that looks like for you in your life, because for some of you, courage might not be picking up the phone and calling someone. For some of you, courage might look something completely different. For you, courage might be calling someone up and apologizing. Or going into the other room and apologizing. Courage might be having the ability to say you're wrong. Courage might have something to do with you taking a look at your, screen time, which all of us dread looking at every week when you get that little report where it tells you how much your screen time is up or down every week. I want you to think about what courage looks like for you. He says, you can if you will, but it's up to you. And that reminded me, when he said that reminded me of a quote, reminded me of a story. Back when I was in high school, told this a couple times now, so you guys might have heard me say it, but put a 5 in the comments if you can still just vividly remember your high school years. Just like vividly, like it was yesterday. I don't care how old you are, just if you can vividly remember those high school years. I remember them like crazy, because for me, I moved every year of my life for 7 years up until middle school. And so high school for me was the first period of time I was in a school for more than a year. First time I made friends, first time I did really it was crazy. And we had a principal. Put a 2 in the comments if you can remember your principal's name from high school. Can you remember your principal's name? My principal's name was Con McCardle. Good old Con. And every single day, this man would get on our intercom system and deliver a message every single day. And I'll tell you what, I'll be damned if I'm not in my mid-30s now and this message still does not ring true in my head every single morning. He would get on and he would give the daily announcements, and every day, without fail, 5 days a week, everyone in this high school heard the same thing. He would end his call every day by saying, make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. He would say that every day. Make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. And I want to kind of leave you with that this evening. I want you to think about that as we wrap up this book, Courage is Calling. I want you to think over our notes. I want you to think over all the different parts of this book. I want you to think over courage being a virtue. I want you to think about how little my words matter. How little what I say really matters. I mean, if it strikes a chord in you that causes you to do something. See, the cool thing for me is I live with a belief that when I do these Mindset Mondays, that there's at least one person on here that gets at least one thing. And that one thing is brought out into the world and made one person's life better. And so know that after every single one of these calls, whether or not you guys do anything, I am completely fulfilled. But know that for that same fulfillment, my hope is that you are that one person that's taking that one thing and that is bringing it out into the world and sharing it with one person that is making their life just a little bit better every single week. That there's purpose to this. That this is just not taken in and gone, man, this is great. But somewhere along your life, somewhere throughout the week, my hope is that you're going to come in contact with one person. And if you do, I want you to know that I'm proud of you. I want you to know that these calls are not in a pursuit of you, building your business. Yes, we talk some business principles and stuff like that, but the goal of each and every one of these calls is just to help you grow as a human being. We're all humans. In order to build your business, it is indicative of you must be a good human. That is step one of the process. People have to want to be around you. You have to be a magnet of good energy. And so the focus here is just to elevate a little bit every single day. I want you to think in reflecting over this call. I want you to think about how you can make people bigger. With everyone that you come in contact with in your life, how can you make them bigger? I want you to remind yourself on a regular basis that there really is no time for hesitation, because all these people that you're coming in contact with, you very well will never come in contact. Very well might never come in contact with them again. I want you to ask yourself, what are you willing to pay? What price are you willing to pay? Are you willing to be looked down upon by some of your peers, some of your ignorant peers that don't understand what it is that you do? Are you willing to have them look down upon you? Is that okay with you? Are you going to be able to build that tough skin to say, you know what? I'm okay with that. You can laugh at me. Laugh away. Bring it on. Are you willing to give up some of those weak excuses that you have been leaning on, that have been taking you away from building your future, the short-term satisfactions that have been outweighing the long-term dream that you've been thinking about? It's what keeps you up at night. But then we sit and we just scroll. But when we're up at night and we can't sleep, it's that dream of our future. It's that dream of what could come. It's that dream of what we could leave our children. It's that dream of why we're here. It's our why. That's what keeps us up at night. That's what you wake up in the middle of the night going, man, all right, I know tomorrow I'm going to get started. Tomorrow I need to go make that call. We're just laying in bed thinking about all the things. And then tomorrow comes and all the excuses, the weak ones, are the ones that take most of our time. So I want you to think about, what are you willing to pay in the pursuit of your dreams? And I want to remind you in closing that courage is not something that you declare like bankruptcy. It is something that you have to earn. And so I encourage each and every one of you to go out there and earn it. I encourage you to take this small step. We've talked about it for weeks now. It is literally a 20-second step for most of your fears of just stepping into it and then watching all of it dissipate. Because fear is simply a misunderstanding of the unknown. The second that you understand it, the second that you know it, the second that you get it, it is no longer fearful. Except for public speaking. I still get scared every time I public speak. So I don't care how prepared I am. I don't care how many times I do it. It still scares the ever-living out of me. So there's that. That's one thing, but they say that that's worse than death. So I don't know. I feel like I'm okay with still being scared of that. So yeah, you guys know me. If you were backstage, I got a trampoline. Trampoline gets the heart rate pumping before I get to run out and talk. But with that being said, you guys, I appreciate you so much. I'm going to do a challenge as we all are kind of running into the end of the month here. And here's the challenge. Because I never know how to do like a raffle on here. You know what I'm saying? We've got like 68 people on here. Never want to do something fun, like where I could just do like a raffle, because I don't have like the number, random name thing where I can just like random, and it's like so lame if I just like scroll and grab somebody. Let's do, what's a fun, you guys throw me something fun. I want to give something fun away. Let's do something. I'm so on the spot that I didn't think about this at all. So if you guys got to go, you can go. I know you want something fun, so you're probably going to hang here with me. It's going to be annoying for like 60 seconds. So just bear with me. Let's do since it's starting to get cold out, let's do a little chocolate. I'll do a chocolate in one of those little coffee mugs from convention. How about that? I'll do a little chocolate in one of those coffee mugs, so you can make some little hot cocoa in there. That'll be fun. All right, so let's do that. Now, how am I going to do this? Let's do, Julie, do you have any good ideas? You got anything? I know, I'm thinking of something fun. Let's do this. How about Julie, do me a favor. Can you get a list of all the participants on this call right now? Take a screenshot if you need to. Everyone stay on here while she gets a screenshot. She might need to take a couple. Look at you. Don't go texting all your teams. If I see the participants start to spike on this call, we go from 69 to like 300 people in 2 seconds. Get them quick, Julie, before they get on there and tag all their teams. I know what you guys are doing. I see you. One's on there. Get on here. Get on here. All right. So let's grab those. All right. So there's a couple iPhones. That's going to be hard. iPhones are going to be hard. Okay. We got 69 people on here. You had screenshots of all the names, Julie? Almost. Look at that. See? They're coming on. See, look at this. You guys, savages. 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 Look at this. See, I knew it. I know you would. See, I don't hate the player, hate the game. I get it. All right, once Julie has all those, you got them all, Julie? All right, cool. We got them all. All right, so we're locked in. We've got screenshots of everyone. Couple stragglers. I love you. Welcome to the call, you late little bloomers. It's good having you here with us. Okay, so I'm going to do something fun. And what I think I'm going to do, Julie, is the hard part I have is the iPhones on here. And so iPhone 8 and iPhone, if you could identify yourself in the chat, if you want to. If not, it's totally fine. No, if your name is iPhone. There's 2 people on here that have their name as iPhone. And so Margaret Ward, I got yours. We see yours. But there's 2 people on here. I'm not trying to keep you guys all in anticipation. Sorry about this. I just want to make sure I don't leave someone out. And then anyone that just has one name is going to be very hard as well. So because I'm not letting anyone else, I'm not having a million people message me saying, I was on, I just had my first name. So Debbie, hang on, Julie's going to get some of this in the chat. You don't need to put your name in. No, don't put your name in. No, stop. Don't do that. It's going to get too much in the chat. Hang on. So Debbie doesn't have her last name. If you guys stick with me, everyone's going to get something on tonight's call. Okay? Hang with me for a second. iPhone, I'm Wendy. Okay, Wendy, what's your last name? I need your last name, Wendy. Debbie, I need your last name. Okay. The chat's going too fast. I haven't seen if Debbie's put her name in there. We got too much stuff going on. iPhone 8 is Sarah Nelson. Okay. So I think we've gotten, hey, Melissa. Okay. We're going to get it. Oh, look at, what a great, fun idea. Look at that. What a fun idea. Melanie, come look at, everyone's so excited. Put a heart in the comments if Melanie just gave us one of the most fun ideas of the night. Melanie, look at you go. Just look at you go. All right. Rock on. Let's do that then. I think that sounds perfect. Let's do 5 points tonight for everyone that was on the call. 5 points towards Punta Cana for everyone that was on tonight. Now, I'm not going to do this every time. Y'all better buckle up. I am definitely not doing this every time. And this is more impromptu because, I don't know, because I'm last minute and I don't ever think about things more than I don't have time. There's just so much craziness going on. But y'all just got 5 points for being on Mindset Monday. So I want to say congratulations. We got you screenshotted. Julie's got everyone in the chat. You guys keep running. Let this be a good reminder to tell all the teams why it's always so fun to be on Mindset Monday. Why you don't want to miss out on this call, because Taylor just does ridiculous stuff sometimes that you never know. And so I appreciate you guys more than you know, for real. I hope you have a blessed and abundant rest of your night. Next couple days, I'm going to see you on What's Up Weekly. We got a very important announcement in regards to our new payment system on Wednesday, pardon me. So make sure that you tune in to What's Up Weekly, as the whole company, as I've told you on multiple calls now, is going to be switching over to a much more improved payment system. Super excited about this. Going to be getting you guys paid so much faster, international better, everything about it's going to be better. And we're going to be launching that this week. And so want to get you guys all the information on What's Up Weekly. Make sure you get you and your teams on there. And with that being said, God bless each and every one of you. Appreciate you more than you know. Talk soon. Bye for now.